nature of our programme, you'll have the opportunity to tailor your degree to suit your interests and your career ambitions. So alongside your core modules in leadership and in punishments and criminal justice practices, you'll have a range of optional modules which you'll be able to choose from to help you specialise within the areas that interest you the most. You'll be able to choose from a range of optional modules which focus on specific areas within the criminal justice system and policing, such as inequalities and vulnerabilities and how these might impact your practice as a professional within these areas, as well as assembling criminality, which is an advanced criminological theory module which will allow you to really understand the nature of crime and criminality. In addition to this, you'll have the option to study international policing to give you great insight into how policing varies depending upon where in the world you are and what contexts it takes place within. You'll also have the opportunity to study an innovative and very unique module on lived experiences from practitioners and service users. And you'll develop insight into how lived experiences can help us shape and mould the way that we practice criminal justice and policing.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jeremy Pearson and I'm the module leader for the Managing International Criminality module. During the course of the module, we'll be looking at the globalization of crime and criminal networks and how policing agencies can overcome the challenges of managing investigations across international borders. We'll be looking at policing organisations and the international policing tools available to officers in their efforts to fight international criminality. We will look at foreign national offending within the UK and the associated implications of managing this cohort of offenders for criminal justice agencies. We'll also touch upon the relationship between policing and other law enforcement agencies within the UK who are engaged in trying to manage organised criminality that seeks once again to exploit international borders. And lastly, we'll touch upon Brexit and the associated loss of capability for policing agencies due to the loss of access to some European policing tools and what this means for policing agencies both within the UK and abroad. I hope that you can join us on the module, and if you do choose the module as one of your options, I look forward to seeing you then.
Hi, I'm Dr. Helen Williams. I'm the module leader for LCPM 04, Inequality and Vulnerability in the Criminal Justice System. What we're looking at on this module is the concept of vulnerability as it relates to the processes and practices in the criminal justice system. We want to know how we understand vulnerability and inequality, the importance of multiple layers of inequality on vulnerability, and the links between politics and policy and vulnerability as enacted in the criminal justice system. We'll be asking students to critically reflect on their own experiences of vulnerability within the criminal justice system.
Hello, I'm Dr. Nicola Roberts and I'm a senior lecturer in criminology here at the university. I'm also module leader for LCP MO2, Punishments in Criminal Justice Practices. In this module, you will learn how and why we punish offenders in society the way we do. You will critically analyse the application of key penological theories and discourses such as rehabilitation and deterrence to criminal justice practices, particularly those focused in the punishment agencies such as the probation and prison services.
Hello, my name is Dr. David Honeywell and I'll be teaching the module Practitioner and Lived Experience Perspectives within Criminal Justice. The idea of this module is to give students something different to the traditional teaching of criminal justice institution type modules. So for example, whereby traditionally we teach how the prisons, the courts, police and probation contribute towards criminal justice, this is going to be more about the other areas that are not talked about as much, such as third sector organisations and those individuals who work within these organisations, mainly people with a lived experience. So for example, people who have been on both sides of the fence. So for example, some organisations employ former prisoners to go into prison to work as mentors for prisoners. And these are lesser talked about areas, but yet they all make a very essential contribution to helping the criminal justice system. As a former prisoner turned academic myself, I'm really excited to be teaching this new module. I'm really looking forward to meeting you all. So I look forward to seeing you all when the module starts. Thank you very much.
Negotiating crime and criminal justice in global context. What is this module going to be about? It's going to predominantly get you looking at current forms of crime across the globe that cross international boundaries. So think cybercrime, think slavery, think human trafficking, think narcotics trade, and so on. But we won't just be looking at the crimes themselves and theorizing and looking at research into those. We will also be looking at the other side of that, which is the kinds of responses that nations and, in many cases, third-party organizations like Amnesty International and so on, develop in order to try and respond to these problems. Because quite often they're not just purely crimes, they're also forms of harm and complex networks of information exchange, human body exchange sometimes, drugs and so on. And so we will be looking at those, from those different perspectives and comparing, this is a really key aspect of the module, comparing how different nations and organizations make decisions and respond to these problems across the globe. Okay, so like I said, think examples like the narcotics trade and so on, and how have, say, the US responded to the global narcotics trade compared to, say, the UK or Russia or anything like that. Cybercrime, for example, what are the different kinds of responses that are being developed by these countries? And yeah, that's kind of a short, sweet introduction. There's more to it than that, of course. We'll be looking at things like geopolitical conflict and conflicts of interest between different criminal justice agencies, especially between the powers that be across the globe that have a strong exerting influence.
Within the Leadership in Criminal Justice and Policing dissertation module, you can expect to start exploring your own academic passions and interests in detail. Whether that be a question that you've been wondering about for a really long time, or whether it's a way to improve an organisational approach. The research techniques that you will learn will enable you to develop your own unique interests with the help and guidance of an experienced supervisor. You will acquire the tools that you need to be able to analyse your own research findings through both qualitative and quantitative means. In essence, by the end of your time in this programme, you will be able to confidently create your own unique report that demonstrates your knowledge and skill set, and subsequently may very well just answer that question that you've been wondering about for a really long time.